Well, welcome to a grocery haul. So yeah, this is technically only my second grocery shop since I got home. You saw the one, which was when we got those fabulous turkeys for like next to nothing. I tell you, pre-Christmas is a fabulous time to shop and look for all those pink tags if you actually have an independent or a superstore or something like that around. And then the day after, if you're willing to deal with possible crowds, depending on where you live, you can get great deals on things like Christmas hams, Christmas turkeys, things like that, whether you celebrate Christmas or not. It's a great day to get deals like those. But check out our company that we had before we actually left this morning. Getting ready to do our shopping today. We have quail right here at the door. And more over there. So the bird seed falls out of the bird feeder. And these guys are going right to town, having some seed. Problem is we need to leave. But they'll be back. They've been running around here for the last few days. Oh, he's right up on the step. Look at that. He's right up on the step. Now, are they really that big underneath all those feathers, or are they just really fluffy? Look at them all. That is so cool. I feel bad that we're going to have to go out this door here shortly. So, folks, this is our grocery haul. Not much to it, but this one was a little bit spendy. A little more spendy than I really wanted. Alrighty, we're going to start with the easy stuff. So we did get 2 packages of medium ground beef, and as you can see, they were not cheap. $13 and $12.52. Now this could easily be 3 to 4 meals each for Fred and I. This one will probably be broken into 4, this one into 3. Because we don't use a full pound of beef when we make anything, to be honest. I also bought some chorizo sausage. Now, this is a mild chorizo sausage. So, part of our conversation today, the sausage, the celery, and yes, I bought a bag of carrots. These are for a recipe that I saw, and it just sounded phenomenal. So, we're going to do that together. Now the chorizo, this stuff here was also not cheap. That was $7.99 for this. Mind you, if I really like this recipe, I can make 3 of the one recipe with just this one chorizo sausage. Freddie got his sesame seed bagels. This is his favorite bagel. Now the no-name bagels are actually really, really tasty. Now the no-name bagels, the cost on those were $2.49. Now that's with the member pricing. We'll talk about that there in a minute. We got some more bananas because, you know, I like my bananas. Now the bananas, not a fabulous price on those, but I have seen a lot worse actually. Now the bananas are $2.18 a kilogram. This whole bunch of bananas here cost me $3. You see that back there? That's the dreaded apricots. We bought the big bag this time because I ate quite a few of those apricots. I think I have like 4 left. So I spent $20 and I bought the big bag. Yeah. Of course, we got our milk, 2 2-liter cartons of milk. We have a pink tag deal. Now this is Pure Life. It's on the French side because I wanted you to see the tag. But it's lemon lime sparkling water. I don't buy this often. But when it's $1.50 a case of 8, you grab them because it's quick to grab when I'm working. President's Choice Crispy Rice. If you haven't had the PC version of this, it's actually really good. I'm surprised. Now, I know I'm diabetic. Eating rice is not, well, I should say eating crispy rice is not the best for me. But when you have a craving for cereal, no, I don't have the full serving. But this actually kind of helps with the craving. Now, we don't 100% need butter, but There was a President's Choice points offer and member pricing on the butter. It was $5 a pound, which for us right now is really, really good. And on top of that, I got some points. Last thing we got at the superstore, a little half price apple fritters. Same thing. It's not something we normally get. They're actually pretty good. And I paid $2.90. I mean, not the fabulous prices, but these little PC apple fritters are actually pretty tasty. Now, you guys have heard me talk about the optimum points before. And when you go to Shoppers Drug Mart, because it's also owned by the same company, you get points on pretty much everything, which is great. You go to Esso, you get points on your fuel because it's also owned by the same company. But you go to the Superstore, you go to No Frills, you go to Independent, any Loblaws based store, you get member pricing with the app and the points. So right now, it's frugal. Frugal living is what we're all doing right now, it seems anyway. And the way this works out is with my member pricing on the butter, I saved $8. So $20 as opposed to $28. And my total savings were $13.90 because I got the $8 off the butter, the $3 off the lemon lime sparkling water, and $2.90 off the little donut, apple donuts. Not so bad. I also earned 5,500 points today. 5,500 points is the equivalent of $5.50. So if I wanted to use just PC Optimum points, I'm now up to $60. So for me, that's a fabulous deal. Now I know that I have $60 in PC points that if I'm in a pinch, I got $60 in groceries that I can go and get. But anyway, this has turned into a bit of a PC points commercial, and that wasn't the intention. Sorry, everybody. But my total that I spent, like I said, was a little bit more because I got the fresh stuff for the recipe because we've been eating down the pantry. I got the fresh stuff for the recipe and I got some ground beef because we were down to one little package and it was due to replace. There's a couple of things in here that were not intended, like the sparkling water and the apricots. I didn't think I'd get this soon. So I spent $107.53, and this will last us a couple of weeks. Some of it a lot longer. So anyway, I'm going to put all this away and then we'll come back and we'll make this recipe. It's a Jamie Oliver recipe. It's a soup. And it just looked so good, I needed to try it. What we're making is this Spanish chorizo pearl barley, kind of like a soup, but it's a really thick soup. Kind of looks more like a stew by the time you're done. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this recipe. Now the recipe that I'm making, I'm changing it just a tiny bit. Now the recipe calls for about 800 milliliters of plum tomatoes, so a large can. But I'm not making the full recipe. I'm only gonna make half the recipe because this is like a big recipe. So this one here will work out well for our supper tonight, and possibly I can freeze it and put some in for supper maybe next week, whatever. But we're actually gonna use one of our jars of stewed tomatoes. So the stewed tomatoes, it has the extra onions, the extra celery, you know, all the good flavors. So I figure why not? We'll use this instead of a big can of diced tomatoes, or I'm just gonna have to put half of it in the freezer anyway. Now the recipe does call for whole peeled plum tomatoes. These are plum tomatoes, so that's handy. I just don't have any whole peeled tomatoes, and the only small can of tomatoes I have are crushed. So let's get the veggies chopped and the chorizo ready. We'll start making dinner. All right, now you guys know I have lots of carrots in jars and things, but I actually wanted to do this recipe when I saw it, and well, what can I say? I had to do it. So let's chop the veggies. Let's get them in a bowl. Then we're going to chop our chorizo, and then we're going to start cooking. Okay, clean chopping board. I'm gonna open up the sausage. So we'll start with the one piece first, because like I said, we're only doing half the recipe. So now the thing is, I think I might have screwed up. Bought the wrong chorizo. I think I should have bought fresh chorizo. Oh well, we'll figure it out. Let's start chopping it up. Yeah. I think I screwed up and grabbed the wrong sausage, guys, but that's okay. It'll still have the flavor. It just won't render out all that fabulous color, but that's okay, because I was looking for fresh chorizo and I just grabbed the first thing I saw, which was cured. Well, I guess we'll find out soon enough whether this is going to work, but since it's not fresh, we're actually going to chop up a little bit more. Okay, in goes the chorizo. So it's probably not going to taste quite the same, but it might taste pretty good. I guess we'll find out. Now, problem is this cured chorizo is not going to have like the oils in it, so we're going to have to put a little bit of oil in this, I'm afraid. There we go. So we'll see how this comes out. Well, it did render out some, which was nice. We're not going to have that nice, deep, fresh chorizo sausage color. Oh well, it happens. All right, all the veggies. Now, I opted for the full amount of veggies. I'm really not sure why. Maybe I just wasn't thinking. So we're not going to have that nice red color on this, like you would if you were actually using fresh chorizo, but that's okay. We're going to reduce the heat. And this is going to cook for 10 minutes. We're going to do the cheater cover because, as we know, we don't have a lid that actually fits this. Cheater cover it is. We'll get rid of our cheater lid. Ta-da! But I went for the full amount of the veggies in here because you're actually quite literally supposed to put like a pound of kale or cabbage or Napa cabbage or whatever kind of cabbage you want in the original recipe. And I only have just like a little chunk of green cabbage that I'm just going to use up, or maybe a little bit of kale. I'm not 100% sure. But I decided I wanted all the carrots and all the celery. So that's why I did that. Now the barley, we are only doing that half amount though. So normally you would put the barley in and you would stir it around so it would gather all the fabulous flavors of that chorizo. And right now this should be like orangey red. It's not orangey red. So for me though, the barley's not going to be the star of the recipe. I actually wanted the veggies as the star of the recipe, so. But either way, it smells fabulous. I'm just saying. Okay, now time for the stewed tomatoes. And we're going to add a little bit of that water to the jar. We got to get all the good stuff out. And next thing is, basically this is cheater stock because I don't have any readily available chicken stock. And 2 bay leaves. Okay. 3 bay leaves. It does have a little bit of that orangey color from that sausage, but not as much as you would hope for, but that's okay. Now I do have more watery stock here, but that's pretty much just in case I need it later on. Just in case we need a little bit more juice later, I guess that's the best way to put it. I'm going to put our makeshift lid back on, and this needs to simmer for 40 minutes. And then when it's done, we'll take a look and see how it came out. Well, it is very veggie heavy, which I wanted. You can see a little bit of that nice orange color from the wrong chorizo. We are going to make this again with the proper sausage next time though. So, it's been simmering now. I did decide to put a little bit of the frozen kale that was in the freezer. So I basically went in and I just broke up a bunch of it. So this needs to simmer now for probably 10 to 15 minutes, give or take. I'm going to pop the bay leaves out now before I forget, because they have done their duty. If I can find the other two. Guess what? I can't find them. Well, if they're in our dinner, we're smart enough to pick them out. Oh, wait a minute. There's one. Yay. All right. I'm going to put our makeshift lid back on and simmer this for another 10 minutes. Well, it is done. Now, the way the recipe works is that you take like your hand blender and you kind of give it that little bit of a creaminess too, but I decided I didn't want to do that because I kind of like the look of it. It just looks good. Just saying. It's a very, very, very thick, chunky soup. But I'm telling you, it smells fabulous. Taste test time. Okay, so I may have bought the wrong sausage. It definitely has the right flavor though. Not as strong as it would have been if it was, you know, a fresh chorizo sausage, but definitely passable for dinner. Now I used a powdered chicken stock, so I didn't add any extra salt whatsoever. I didn't put any pepper in. Might put a tiny bit of pepper in mine, but Fred won't need any. But there you go. We made dinner and we went shopping, and it was only our second shop so far since Christmas. Not too bad at all. Alrighty, everybody, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know if a little shop and a cool new recipe might be the way to go from now on. So we'll talk to everybody soon, and thanks for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and come with us next time as we shop and cook as we do our simpler life here on PEI. Bye for now.